Right now, I want to go to this story that, again, it's a story up on Infowars.com right now. It's the top story at the site. Court rules violent raid against homeschoolers is unconstitutional. The family was tased, assaulted, and pepper sprayed. But not only did they win this state court saying that the action of the SWAT team and CPS was unconstitutional, no, they are now going on the offensive. They are suing this jurisdiction. And let me read you from an article here. The D.C. Clothesline goes through it and lays down exactly what happened in this encounter. And, of course, it was just last week that they filed a lawsuit. Looks like they may win this lawsuit if the court slapped down these police and CPS for what they did. Very critical of what they did. But let me read to you first what it was that they did. The agents were sent to the home, CPS agents, because these people were homeschooling their children and reportedly had a, quote, messy house. They had a messy house, so they get a visitation from CPS. The family had been harassed by CPS agents on multiple occasions, and on this particular day, they refused to let the agents inside the home. The father said they were not allowed to enter the property without a court order. Nevertheless, one of the sheriff's deputies responded by forcing his way into the home and spraying the father and mother in the face with pepper spray. Next, he used his taser on the father, shooting him in the back with a weapon. Horrified, the mother shut the door to separate herself and her husband from the officer, who then triggered the taser 3 more times through the closed door, as the barbs were still stuck inside the husband. Then the second officer helped the first officer, who's tasered these people, force open the door, found both the couple lying on the floor in pain. The officers then pepper sprayed the couple as they laid on the floor. With the couple subdued, the officers then turned to the family dog. There we go, puppy side. They didn't shoot it, however. They just sprayed it with a chemical agent, then threatened to shoot it if it did not stop barking. At the end of the raid, the couple was arrested. Both of them were charged with resisting arrest and child endangerment. They then took their children away from them for quite some time. Now, let me read you, that's the basis of the lawsuit. Let me read you what the court in Missouri said. Again, this is in Missouri, like Ferguson, but this is not a Missouri issue. This is a national issue, and this is not a black thing. These people, I don't know if they were black, but I don't think they were black. This is a blue thing. This is the police not under control with rules of engagement, not following the law. And that's what a court said in Missouri. A court in Missouri has ruled a raid staged against a homeschooling family in 2011 violated their constitutional rights. And Kurt Nemo points out in this article on Infowars.com that they lost custody of their children for months after this raid. The children were traumatized by witnessing the police assault on their parents. The court has now ruled the raid was unconstitutional. Here's the quote from the court. They said, the court will not allow an exception to sanction warrantless entry into a private residence by pepper spray and taser. If the officer had a warrant in hand and such force was necessary, that's a different story. But those are not the facts of this case. And unfortunately, they are not the facts of many, many, many cases. They go on to write, the Fourth Amendment strikes a carefully crafted balance between a family's right to privacy and the government's need to enforce the law. Now, they were defended by the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. If you are homeschooling and you do not have contact with the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, you need to support them. They are a very useful advocate if you ever come into a situation like this. They went on to say, the rule applies to all government agents, the Homeschool Legal Defense Association says. Court after court has agreed there is no social services exception to the Fourth Amendment. And they also cited a law professor at Duke University who wrote a treatise, Storming the Castle to Save the Children, the ironic cost of child welfare exception to the Fourth Amendment. She said, violent police raids can shatter the innocence of even the youngest of children, causing a broad range of emotional responses, including trauma, anxiety, fear, shame, guilt, stigmatization, powerlessness, self-doubt, depression, and isolation. You know, we've seen this happen. We talked about this last week. As I said, this is not a black thing. This is a blue thing. We need to get control of law enforcement.